some patterns. And if we look back at the Cartesian plane or the coordinate plane, remembering that this is quadrant 1 and that's two positives. This is quadrant 2 and it's a positive and negative, right? The x would be negative and the y would be positive. Quadrant 3 would have x is negative, y is negative, and quadrant 4 would be x is positive and y is negative. Okay? Now, moving on, if I was going to solve this equation, one of the things that I'm going to do, if I'm going to need to graph this, right? You can graph anything if you use a t-table. It makes it so easy, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a t-table. And I'm going to say that anything that I make n equal to is going to go in this column here. And when I solve the equation, the answer is going to go here. So anything after the equal sign is going to go in here, okay? All right, that means I can get rid of this one. Okay. So I'm going to substitute, I'm going to say n is equal to 1. And when I say n is equal to 1, and I solve that, I'm going 3 times 1 minus 1 equals, right? So this is 3 minus 1, and it's going to be equal to 2. So my answer here is going to be 2. All right. Get rid of that. Okay. So next, I'm going to say n is equal to 2. So I'm just going to plug that in. 3 times 2 minus 1. And so this is 6 minus 1, and that is going to be equal to 5. So if I put 2 here, 5 is here. And then I'm going to say n is equal to 3. So 3 is going to go here. And then I'm going to find out, so 3 times 3 minus 1, this is 9 minus 1 equals 8. And 8 is going to go here. And I keep doing that. So this is going to be 4, and 4 times 3 is 12, minus 1 is 11, and this is going to be 5, and 5 times 3 is 15, minus 1 is 14. Okay? All right. So how do I then figure out my coordinates? Well, here, these are my ordered pairs. N is going to be x, and 3n minus 1 is going to be y. So I'm just going to put in my coordinates now. So this is 1, and this is 2. This is 2, and this is 5. This is 3 and 8. This is 4 and 11. And in here, this is 5 and 14. Okay, and now I can just put these on. So obviously, if I'm looking at this, I am going to be working in quadrant 1 because both x and y are positive. So I count over 1, and then I count up to right there. I count over 2, and then I count up 5. I count over 3, and then I count up 8. I count over 4, and I go to 11. I count over 5 and up to 14, right there. Okay, and then this is creating a linear line, which means it's a linear equation. And what does that mean? Hopefully you remember, it means that I am creating a straight line. And if I were to keep going in this direction down here, I would intercept right there in the middle. This is called the origin. 0, 0 is classified the origin. So, all right. Now, it doesn't have to always just be an equation. I could give you an input-output, and this would still be This would still be x, and this would still be y. Now, looking at this pattern, this is a decreasing repeated pattern. So I'm decreasing here by -2 each time, so I know that this would be -7. And obviously I can't figure this one out here, so I start at 8, and that is decreasing by -3 each time, so this would be -5. And now, if I'm looking at this, the x is negative and the y is negative, so where would I put this? Would I be in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, if I look back here, okay, they're both negative, so I would be in quadrant 3. Okay, so I would go -1 and -2 here. And we make our video games next week. We will be using these quadrants to help us build our video games in Scratch. So -5 and down, where's -5? I lost my line, to -8 right there. And -7, so over 2, 1, 2, and down to -11. Where am I here? There we go. And then 9. I've done something wrong here, haven't I? No, that's -11. Perfect. And then -9 to -14. There we go. And then if I draw my line here, okay, proves that I have a linear equation because it's a straight line. All right. If you have any questions at all about when you're doing the investigating patterns or any of the questions that I've given you, you need to come to the help session. Okay.